morning! Today we're going to be making this floral shaker card, and the suite that we're going to be using today from the Stampin' Up catalogue is this Jars of Flowers bundle. So it comes with all of these different flowers that you can add to it, the lid, to the jar. All of these are stamped, so you can stamp the jar, you can stamp water in the jar, then you've got the solid images as well. And then you've also got these little stripe patterns. And that comes with a coordinating punch that punches out the jar. And there are also these little shaker domes that come with it, so they fit exactly into the punch out like that. And they're adhesive both on the front round here and on the back, so that you get a really nice seal for whatever you want to put inside. And then we're going to coordinate that with this In Good Taste Designer Series paper. This is a much bigger paper pack. It's actually twice as big as most of our 12 by 12 packs. You get 24 sheets in it. And as you can see, it's got a variety of different textures. I've actually laid it out because it's really difficult to hold it all. So you've got different fabric textures and paint textures and wood textures. And then on the other side, you've got like tiles, more fabrics, this pink paint texture. So it's a really lovely pack for backgrounds. So I'm going to use this paper again today, but I'm going to change up the card slightly. I'm actually going to use these flowers as opposed to, in my original card I used this one. And then for the sentiment, we're going to use the Happiest of Birthdays stamp set, and I like this little Happy B-Day. The other change that we're going to make on this card is that I'm going to move the flowers over slightly, because you can see I had to put this 4 stacked dimensionals to make it so that it goes over the jar. So I'm going to move the jar over a bit and just have that next to the jar instead. So that I get my layout as I want it, I'm actually going to stamp the sentiment first, and then I know where the jar will sit on the card. So I'm just going to take the Happy B-Day stamp and my Memento black ink. Just going to stamp it on a scrap of Whisper white paper. And then I'm just going to cut around it with my scissors and leave a little border around the outside. You could always do it with a paper trimmer if you prefer. So there's my sentiment, and I want that to go beside the jar. So then I can take my jar and I can just make sure that I punch that next to the sentiment. So I need the jar about there. And then I'll keep that jar because I can use that on something else. So I've just got the hole on there. So I'm going to put those aside for a minute. So I've just got a scrap of Whisper white cardstock, and I'm going to stamp the jar in Pool Party ink to make it look kind of see-through. Have that jar look to it. And then on top of that, I'm going to stamp the stems in black, so I'm going to colour those in. And you want to line the top of the stems up with the bottom of the rim of the jar. As you can see, I've lined it up there. And then I'm also going to stamp the flowers. So I'm going to stamp those next to it. This is actually one of the things that I love about Stampin' Up stamps, is you get such a nice crisp image. So now we're going to colour the images in. So I've got Mango Melody, Poppy Parade and Shaded Spruce combos of stamping blends. So with the stamping blends, you buy them in combos and you get a dark and a light shade of each, and that really helps you to blend them together without having to worry about different numbers and letters and all that kind of thing. It's just the dark and the light of the same colour, you know, will blend together. And that doesn't mean you can obviously blend different colours together as well. It's just if you want a particular shade, it's really easy to find the right colours to blend together. So I'm going to start with the stems with the Shaded Spruce. And actually I'm not going to do any shading on the stems, I'm just going to colour them flat. I'll start to do a little bit more shading. So I'm going to do the darker colour where there's other things in the way, like for example underneath the flowers and just around where the flowers would give the leaf shadow. And then I'll just cover the rest in the lighter colour. And then with the red, again, I'm just going to do a darker colour around the outside of the leaves, just where they overlap with each other, and around the bottom, or the petals should I say. And look how vibrant and gorgeous this dark poppy parade is. I'm going to switch to Mango Melody and just do these little flowers. So like I say, there's loads of videos out there that will teach you to colour. This is not one of them. I colour for fun as opposed to be technically accurate. I just enjoy colouring. If you just want it to look pretty, that's kind of what I go for. So then I'm just going to cut a really loose shape around here because that's just going to go on the back of our card. And then this one I'm going to cut out more accurately. I'm just going to cut out a small border around the outside, and that helps make the cutting easier. It also helps it stand off the page. I'm not going to leave a border at the bottom. I'm going to cut it straight off because that's going to go into the jar. So if you're looking at starting to buy stamping blends, there are a lot of different colours you can buy and it can be a bit overwhelming. So I would suggest just choosing a few of your favourite colours first. It's always good to have a green because you can do all your foliage and things with a green, and then a couple of your favourite colours, like nice bright ones if you like colouring flowers. You might want some greys or some browns if you like colouring animals, that kind of thing. So I've only actually used 3 colours for this card, and on the original I actually used 5. I used essentially all of the in colours, so the magenta, and I used the Mango Melody because there's no Bumblebee stamping blend. I used the Just Jade for the foliage, and I used the Misty Moonlight for that flower. I also used the cinnamon colour for the centre of the flowers, but I didn't need to use that many colours. I could have coloured the centres something different, the darker blend of the yellow maybe. I wouldn't have lost anything if I'd have coloured that flower the same colour as one of the others. You could easily get away with having 3 or 4 sets of blends, and that would be enough to colour some of these small images. And then you could see how you like them, and if you want to build your collection, you can always then stick in another 1 or 2 sets of blends each time you place an order to grow your collection. Okay, so now we want to build up the card. So first thing what we're going to do is take our shaker dough, and I'm going to just put some of these sequins. These are the woven thread sequins, but you could use anything you've got. I just like these because they're kind of like, they've got slightly watery colours in, I think. They're really pretty. So I've just put a few of those in the middle of the jar, and then I'm just going to peel the back bit off the jar, and I'm just going to place it over the top so that it's nicely spaced all around. And then I'm going to peel the top off, and I'm going to take this piece that we punched earlier, and I'm just going to put that over the top of the jar. So that sits around the jar. All the sequins are nicely sealed in, and that fits into our punched hole on our card. So you can see it's really nice and neat. Then I'm going to take our card blank. I'm just going to glue all over the back. And that you can see, it doesn't matter that cut was a bit messy because it's just going to be hidden by this paper. And I'm just going to glue that onto our card front. So I've got some dimensionals here that I'm just going to stick on the back. So that's just going to pop so that it's coming out of the top of our jar. And then I've just got our little sentiment here, which I'm just going to put these on the back. And I'm going to put that next to that little jar. So that's our card finished for today. I'll just bring in the other one. So I'd love to know which one you like the best. So I hope you enjoyed today's project. If you did, I'd love for you to click like below and subscribe to our channel to see future projects. All of the products that we've used to make today's projects are linked in the description below. Thank you so much for joining me today. See you soon.